Now think about just a week ago, with the Musk messy divorce blowing up, including resurfaced allegations that Trump was on the Epstein tapes. Well, Trump decided he'd change the subject. But while this tactic is, of course, horrible for our nation, it gives him a temporary respite from dealing with reality. The key word, though, is temporary.
Yeah, it absolutely goes back to 2020. He was very angry in 2020 because the justices that he appointed to the Supreme Court at the suggestion of Leonard Leo and his former and Trump's former White House counsel, Don McGahn, both members of the Federalist Society, were members of the Federalist Society who failed to step in to assist him in his coup attempt. The people at the Justice Department, everybody except for that one hack, Jeffrey Clark, who stood up to Trump and said, we're going to resign en masse if you try to make us do something to support your insurrection, your attempt to stay in office. They were basically members of the conservative legal establishment, if not members of the Federalist Society themselves. So he became very, very resentful in 2021 at Leonard Leo and at the Federalist Society. And the great irony of that today is that a lot of people, a lot of hacks, right-wing hacks, joined the Federalist Society in these past several years thinking this is the way to get a job, a plum job in the next Trump administration or to get a judgeship. And they made a mistake there. Trump does not like the Federalist Society because it can, actually the Federalist Society is kind of a diverse group of conservatives. It always was kind of like the legal equivalent of the Reagan tripod with economic conservatives, defense conservatives, and religious conservatives. It was a mix of a bunch of things. Libertarians, people like me who believe strongly in the rule of law and are conservative in the way they interpret the Constitution, and people like Amy Coney Barrett, who the Trumpists really hate now because she's voting, to apply the due process clause to all people and not just citizens of the United States.
Donald doesn't believe that MAGA's mad at him.
No.
He actually said, oh, God, I hate him. I do not do a Donald impression, everybody, so don't even think.
That's okay. Neither does Stephanie, and she tries every day.
Yeah, she does. She doesn't let that stop her.
Yeah, I don't even
Stephanie,
try.
I love you.
I'm not even going to try. But he said, apparently, when he was putting up the stupid flagpoles yesterday, my supporters are more in love with me today, and I'm more in love with them. More than they even were at the election time when we had a total landslide. I may have some people that are a little bit unhappy now, but I have some people that are very happy, and I have people outside of the base that can't believe this is happening, so they're so happy. Help.
Yeah, no, you can't make sense of it, the word salad. No one's happy. That's one of the things that actually gives me some hope is the constituents. Republicans are they're getting hurt by this, and they're turning on the people that they voted into office because they're not actually protecting them. So his delusion, I'm not sure if he really believes what he's saying, or he's got to tell himself this. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's hard to tell whether he actually believes what's coming out of his mouth, or if he knows and he just has to cover it up, because he'll never admit someone doesn't like him.
No, he can't possibly. I mean, what's sad about him, and I do not feel sorry for him, is his only friends are people that he pays.
Yeah.
Or that want something from him,
or that
other
are getting
than friendship.
Something from him. 100%.
It's a pitiful existence. He's pathetic.
Yeah, I would imagine his own children also hate him.
Oh, God, yeah.
I don't think Ivanka's not been around because she just isn't, she got tired of making billions of dollars. I think she's really trying to distance herself from her dad.
Well, yeah. I mean, I don't think any of his children like him because the only thing he holds over them is money.
Yeah.
I mean, remember, Tiffany wanted at some point, according to reports, to join the Peace Corps. And he said that if she did, she's cut off.
Yeah.
It's like, really? That's a good thing. You should encourage children to do something for the betterment of society. But no, God forbid he does that.
No, I'm sure he had a dream at some point of being a Rockette, and his father was like, absolutely not. You're going into the family business, and we're going to use and abuse you, even though you're the dumbest one. And basically, he wasn't allowed to go after his dreams. I'm sure of it. It's when they took away that Tonka truck.
Honk, honk.
Yeah, Mary Trump talks about it in her book. That's this fight with this truck that got taken away, and both of them got, there was so much damage to this person. It is just really unfortunate that the rest of the country is paying for it.
The planet. We had some good news. We talked about it a little earlier that E. Jean Carroll won in the appeals. against Donald, ruling against his request to have the government step in and as a party, because Garland was doing that for a minute and then he dropped it, thankfully.
Okay.
As you know. And it's one step. And now he might actually have to pay the $83 million. So that's good news.
That is good news.
You know, I mean, she deserves it. And she's
She's been relentless in this
fantastic.
pursuit of justice, and I'm so proud of her.
Yeah.
I mean, this was not easy.
No.
Everything she went through publicly to fight this man was re-traumatizing all over again, and she has stayed the course and stayed steady. Her lawyer's incredible. I'm really proud of her.
Yeah, no, she's great. And she was on with Joyce Vance. We talked about this as well. And she said to Joyce Vance, which was interesting, she said, had he testified, he might have hung the jury. I mean, in civil cases, it's different than in
Interesting.
She's like, because he was able to convince voters after the first 4 years to vote for him again, some for the third time, and certainly some for the second time, if you know, some for the first time. But he was convincing these people. So she said, yes, I think he might have been able to had he testified. But Joyce Vance pushed back, and I agree with Joyce, that he is not controllable.
No.
His lawyer
Had he testified, he probably would have admitted to another crime.
Probably. I mean, that's why he was smart enough in his brain to not testify in any of his. But I mean, we saw the depositions with E. Jean Carroll, and we know, so that was damning enough. But yeah, he. So you know, E. Jean's happy, and I'm glad that this is moving on. I assume he's going to appeal it as high as he possibly can.
Yeah, but we'll take the good news when we can get it. That's for sure.
Absolutely. I'm very glad about that. Now. He has a sad because he hasn't been able to play golf in 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
He's complaining. He's whining.
He's a little whiny little thing. He said, you know, while the stupid flagpoles were being erected at the White House, he said, he told reporters, 35 club championships, you know that? I haven't hit a ball in 3 weeks, 4 weeks. And somebody joked, it's time to get out there. And Donald replied, been a little busy. Wouldn't you rather me doing what I'm doing in the end? No, I'd rather you just play golf and get out of my hair. I'd rather you just do that and nothing else. And take Stephen Miller with you. Apparently, according to, Rick Riley, who wrote the 2019 book Commander-in-Chief, he says what happens is he'll open a new golf course because he owns 14 and operates 5 more. He says he'll play the first club champion by himself and declare himself the club championship so that he can put his name on the wall.
I feel like that's when we used to play Monopoly, and you'd be like draw that card and be like, you came second in the beauty pageant, and my family used to say, and you were the only one there.